So for me, I just created a few designs on Canva, shared them with friends. Friends shared it with friends. I sent them to some group chats with other agents in there. And yeah, one day, someone was like, "Yeah, I heard through a friend of a friend of a friend that you're doing this. How do we get started?" And that was it. And that's how it's been. I think all my business has been through referrals, actually. The second one same, and the third one same, like that. So yeah, fake financial intelligence center. You need to make sure that you're reporting suspicious transactions, that you're tracking all the clients you take in. So there's all these regulatory. So there's this association that I'm a part of. It's an association I got introduced to in I think May this year. It's called SAIPA, South African Youth in Property Association.
Okay. First world countries tends to do well in terms of funding ideas.
Yeah.
But a third country tends to do well to find a product that's already running.
I think, yeah, we've yet to get to a point where maybe pre-seed funding is something they look after, because when it goes back to what you mentioned, because there are 4 different stages of funding. It's pre-seed funding, seed funding, Series A funding, and Series B funding. And yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Most institutions, government or not, even private institutions, they like seed funding, where the idea has been established, they've made some funds, we just need to boost them, as opposed to pre-seed funding, which is funding just the idea. The more business you do in government, the more your name is spread and the more easier it is to become. Because look, if you do business with a Togini municipality, there's no way UKZN won't know you.
So yeah, how much money have you ever made in your business? If
I don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
But yeah, the most I made in a day at my age of 23 is 36,000 Rand. Touch wood. That's all I made. People want to make money. They just don't know why they want to make money. I don't know if you've heard that saying, like, yo, I'm going to be rich one day. I just don't know how and I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you need to know why you want to be rich. You need to know how you're going to get rich, okay? Well, the markets I was chasing, I'm selling houses to 50, 60, 70-year-old people. These guys are not on Instagram or on TikTok or like looking through Twitter. They're on, the most they're on is Facebook, but otherwise they prefer a direct call or an email. So that's what I am so proficient and good at. Like,
the number one valued thing on planet Earth, it is none other than 3 things: accommodation, food. Guess what's the third one? It's fine. Even if you don't get it right, don't worry. Today we'll speak about one of the most important things among the 3 essential things in life. How's it?
I'm very good, my brother. How are you? That was a lovely intro. Eh?
I'm good.
I'm doing very good, very good. How are you doing today?
No, I'm good.
No, that's good. I love your jacket, by the way. I love the pattern. Yeah.
You must be in love with fashion.
No, I am actually. No, definitely. And I'm falling in love right now, literally.
Yeah. Nonetheless, tell me something, then. Let's get your name and your surname.
My full name is...
Depending on what you want to.
Yeah, no, I'll give you the full ID name. The full one. It's Siyabonga Romeo Dube.
Okay.
That's the full name.
Let's talk about your business. What type of business are you into?
So right now I'm running a real estate business. It's a unique real estate brokerage that I'm running. Essentially what we do is we allow people to leverage the use of our real estate license to run their own real estate businesses. We then do joint venture agreements that ensure that the partnerships we do build with each practitioner allows for them to make money in a way that they're comfortable with. But yeah, essentially it's a very unique real estate business that I'm running.
Okay, tell me something. We will get into the other aspect of everything.
Yeah.
If one was to ask a definition of real estate, what is the definition of real estate? Not necessarily according to the dictionary, but according to your understanding, it's fine.
According to my understanding, right?
Yes.
Because there's a very funny definition. So there's a book that's been released by 2 white men. I forgot their names. but there is a very like unique definition of it, you know. Mine and my understanding is real estate is just immovable property. Essentially, it's assets that you can't take out from where they initially are. It's land, it's buildings, it's houses, it's commercial property. So it's immovable property. That's my best understanding. But you'll probably read somewhere that it's, you know, it's land that is immovable due to the fact that, you know, it's valued at a higher price and it contributes to the gross product development of the country, so on and so forth. So, but yeah, a simple definition is immovable property.
Okay. So you are into this business of immovable assets.
Yeah, immovable assets, yeah.
Now tell me something. What attracted you into this thing?
Yeah.
I mean, generally, one will hardly think about that space. What attracted you? Tell me about the first instinct, the first interest, and the type of lesson that you might have gotten for you to seriously say, you know what, this, I consider it as my career now.
Yeah. A short answer to that is wealth. I was very interested in the idea of wealth. I wanted to be wealthy. I wanted to have a lot of money. Okay. So I had done a lot of research and I read a book. It was called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That book obviously skyrocketed my trajectory in the space, and now I'm in a position where I'm fully locked in on the space. So it was wealth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it's fine. So you were attracted by wealth. According to your understanding, we'll get into your experience now.
Definitely.
But according to your understanding then, was it easier to get wealth through this? Or you thought, you know what, I'm going to just get in there, get some cash, and then fine.
Yeah.
Like, how was it? Your perception before you
Yeah.
got into it?
Yeah. For me, you know, wealth, when you hear the word wealth, it's not a short-term word. Eh? Wealth it's not a short-term word. Wealth is something that you build over a long period of time. And we live in an economy where we see that wealth is very short. Okay. So for me, essentially, I was in a position where I was willing to take the time to understand what type of wealth I wanted. And when I had made the decision, I knew that this decision was going to require a level of patience that, you know, isn't really as ordinary, you know. But outside of it, you know, the more I spent time in the space, I tended to realize that there's more to it than just wealth. You know, this is a space that, you know, controls the entire economy, you know. And it's one way, if you fully understand the ins and outs of the space, you'll be able to make decisions that could also one day affect the economy. Okay. So, yeah, essentially, as much as it was more of it wasn't really a quick cash thing, though, I'll be honest. I wasn't obsessed with quick cash. I was obsessed with, I wanted to get to a point where I didn't need to think about money anymore. Financial freedom is what they call it, you know. So that alone just allowed me to build that level of patience and understand that I'm not chasing, you know, the next 5K, 10K, 20K. I'm chasing something that would sustain me until I die. That's essentially the type of wealth that I'm looking for.
Okay. So, did you, in the beginning, when you entered the space, were you registered or you participated in the space before you could register? And I'm saying this just to qualify my question. You'll find that, for instance, a lot of people who will have businesses up and running, some of them will make cash. You understand? They will have good cash, some of them just the minimum of cash, right? And then you will have situations where a person just get an idea and then they goes to CIPC, they register a business, and it never actually materializes. Did you? So I've presented two types of people, right?
Yeah.
Which one now?
So I'm definitely the first person, because I can admit that I didn't understand the space initially. I just read in that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, that these are one of the spaces where wealth is built. Okay. So I was proactive. I've been proactive, you know, I'd say even since I was born. You know, I'm someone that if I want to know something, I will put an effort to find out what it is about. Okay. So I made a call. In fact, I did a Google search actually. I went on Google and I searched real estate agencies near me. And then it showed me like 5 to 10 of them. And then I called them one by one. And I said, hello, guys. So I want to do real estate. How do I do it? They were like, I mean, it's not that complicated. Just join us. Give us your CV, your matric certificate, your ID so we can verify you. And then everything that you will learn in the space, you need to learn while you're with a company. So that's where my internship started. I joined a company called R36 Properties in 2022. And for that full year, I'd gone through my 12-month internship where they had trained me on the space. They had educated me on all the details around the space. I was then allowed to make a decision moving forward. But yeah, it definitely does happen. I've experienced a lot of cases where people think that registering a company on CIPC means you're an entrepreneur or a business owner. It's not the case. You need to actually gain the skills, gain the knowledge, and, prove the results on the field. And I spent 3 years doing that to really understand what's going on.
Okay. So wait, when your 1 year expired, you had a choice whether you leave, go start your own thing, or you continue with them. What was your choice?
So my choice was actually to stay with them because, see, funny enough, in the real estate space, there's actually another level after that 12-month internship. There is the National Qualification Framework Level 4. So it's called an NQF4 in real estate.
I've seen it.
Yes. So that's, once you've done your internship, the board, as the PPRA, so Property Practitioners Regulatory Authority, the board will say, hey, listen, you've done your 12 months. We think you're great. You're allowed to study real estate. That's when I did my NQF4. So I stayed with them while doing it. In fact, I actually changed companies from R36 Properties. I then moved to a company that was only 2 years old. It was called ZA Prop, but they had over 100 agents. They were doing very well. They were performing very, very well. So I joined them and I completed my NQF4 and I also did my NQF5. So the NQF5 is, the next level from 4, obviously, but that now allows you to run your own business because every real estate agency that you see, that you drive past, there is an individual in that building that has an NQF5 certificate. That is the one that allows you to run that building. Without that certificate, you are running an illegal business. But yeah, so long story short, my plan was to stay. But as I grew with the certificates, I realized that I could probably do something here. And I got to that point where I made the decision to leave the space and try something of my own.
Okay, that was after you spent 3 years, 1 year, and then 2 years on the other company.
Exactly.
Okay, before we jump in now, tell me something. How was your experience in terms of sales? Let's focus on the first year. First year student with this company. What did your sales look like?
So my sales weren't that great. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't the top selling agent. I wasn't, I wasn't getting awards or anything, but I was learning and I appreciated learning. I made about 4 sales in the first year. Okay. And how I attained these sales was through a variety of marketing strategies. One was cold calling. I used to pull lists of homeowners and then I'd have a script on my right hand and then I would call them. I'd follow the script. I'd say, hello, my name is Sia. I want to sell your house. And it was either a yes or a no. Okay. So I did that. And that resulted in 4 properties being sold within that 1 year. All those 4 properties valued up to about 4 million rand in that 1 year. Because my first property sale was in a little suburb called Sky City.
Yes, I know Sky City.
Yeah, it was 650,000 rand. It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bathroom.
The houses there, the range is exactly around that.
Yeah, exactly around that. Yeah, so I made like 6,000 rand from that. But when I'd made that money, I'd realized that, okay, this is something I can do, because it's essentially how you start. You start with just the idea and then you move forward with it. So, yeah.
Why Sky City? Because I'll tell you why. Because just after Sky City, there's a place called Leopard Estate.
Leopard's Rest.
Yes. Yeah,
Leopard's Rest.
So their houses there will be
Similar
around
development.
700,000, 800,000, and I've seen a house close to 1 million, if not 1 million there.
Yeah.
So why will you go to Sky City where houses will average around 550,000, most of them 600,000, as you are saying? Why Sky City? Why not?
I think I was just lucky. because the thing with real estate is that sometimes you don't know where the market will take you. You know, sometimes you'll do a deal in Rosebank, all of a sudden you're in the Val now because of that referral or that person who knew you. So for me, what had happened, I'll give you the details too and how I got that listing. So again, I was an intern. I didn't even know what, a conveyancing attorney was. And I got a phone call from a lady who saw my listing in Sky City. She said, hey, I've got an agent, but I don't like the way she's working. But I see you're selling in Sky City. So could I please ask you to come to my house and, put my house on the market and maybe you can sell it? I don't know, because I don't like the lady that's helping me right now. I said, sure, I'll do it. I'd love to do that. And yeah, when I did, I think I sold it within like 2 weeks, actually. It was gone because I think they were really comfortable with the price that they wanted. I gave them a splendid evaluation. Yeah, 2 weeks in, and we got a person who was already pre-approved for bond, and we sold it. So it was just luck. I mean, the areas I was focusing on were areas near me. I think another thing with being a property practitioner or a real estate agent is that they tend to focus on areas that aren't easily accessible to them because transportation is a real thing. You will need to actually travel to that property and do a viewing and sign the offer, so on and so forth. So for me, it was in the area. And again, I was just really lucky to have had that listing. But I do advise all people to try and market themselves within the area, Yeah.
Okay. So now you made your first sale, then that led to your second sale.
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell me something. At this moment, do you consider yourself, second sale, do you consider yourself as a person who would have acquired enough selling skills?
Second sale in. I mean, yes and no. Because yes, on one, it's like, okay, let's say, I'm going to use a really weird analogy, but let's say I have a beautiful girlfriend, right? She's very beautiful. She's like the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. It doesn't mean that your next girlfriend is going to be just as beautiful as the one you just had. Okay. Does it mean that you're less of the man that you were before? No. It just means that you got lucky just with a different person, So I think sales is a very case-by-case thing in that you need to figure out how to execute the sale based on the case you are in. So there were skills that I had learned from the first sale that I would not even have thought of in the second sale and vice versa, So I would say yes and no in the sense that I was confident. Yes, it built a lot of confidence in me. I want to sell more, but I don't think I know everything just yet,
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, so now let's get into your second company now. What are the most important lessons you learned when you worked with them for 2 years?
Yeah. So I actually want to clarify, I actually worked for 3 different companies. So the third company I worked for was Remax, actually. Remax All-Stars / Finest. So also another story we'll get into. But the second company was interesting because it was a very flashy company. Okay, it was very flashy. It was like on the corner of like a Bursey Road, so it's got like nice lights at night, Internally, I had learned that the space comes with different leadership styles. Some leaders or some people that would drive the operations in the space tend to do things differently as compared to the first company, as compared to the third company. But what I would say I would have learned is the level of independence you require as a real estate professional. I had to be very independent in the second phase because it was a company that didn't really take a liking to, newcomers. It was a company that actually wanted guys that had already done their 12 months and like, now you must do now, So it was one where, look, I know, but I still need like some form of leadership, some form of mentorship. And that's why I made the change from ZA Prop to Remax, because at Remax they had offered that, that skill or upskilling in terms of there was a leader who was ready to help me grow in that space. But nevertheless, yeah, it definitely showed me that, okay, the leadership in the first company is definitely not the same as the second or the third or the fourth. Every company has a different way of upskilling and bringing up the employees. That's what
now
I'm
let's
saying.
move to your third company. What did you learn specifically from looking at your third company?
Yeah. My third company, I learned that consistency was a very important thing in the real estate space. You needed to perform tasks consistently. Real estate is a contact sport. It requires you to be in contact with people 24/7. Okay. It's also a space that requires you to have a very good skill in planning. You need to know what your plan is. You need to know which areas you're targeting, how you're going to target them, why would they accept you as an agent? Is this your target audience? So there's a heavy, intensive planning there. I guess I would also say that in terms of execution, it should be very purposeful. You know, it's very interesting, Wongani, when you walk into someone's house and you're trying to convince them that, hey, listen, I can sell this house for 2 million rand. You don't know me, you haven't met me, you don't know what I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You don't know what my daily routine is, and yet you're entrusted, or you're hoping that this is the guy that will get this property sold. You know, so another skill that I think I learned that was very imperative was people skills. You know, being able to understand these people and ensure that they were able to, you know, listen to what I had to say and why what I'm saying is what they need to hear, you know. Because sales can be conceived as a career that is meant to trick people. You know, people have a very bad connotation to salesmen, especially car salesmen, because they think, no, he just wants a quick buck, you know, and he's going to leave. But no, it's a space where I think every salesman is trying to understand their customer's problem and is also simultaneously trying to find said solution. It falls into the customer's hands now to figure out whether, you know, they want to receive that solution or just continue to assume that this person is my enemy, I don't want them around me, you know. So people skills was very imperative.
Okay. Now, from your third company, when do you register your own company?
So yeah, after I joined Remax, on the 26th of March 2025, that is when I registered Levro. Levro is, it's LEVRX. It's a word I derived from the word leverage. So people leverage my license to run their own agency.
Okay. I must say, one of the challenges that I ran into when I was doing your Google search.
Okay, yeah.
A lot of companies showed up. It was difficult to figure out yours.
Yeah.
I think about 5, if I'm not mistaken, showed up. I'm like, nah, man, this one must be a real estate company. Because all of the 4, if not 5, were not real estate companies. Only, I'm like, no, man, I'm looking for
the real estate one. Yeah.
So I don't know what I did to tweak something. Then that's when it landed me to your page. Because I was like, I don't want to follow the link.
Yeah.
I want to just go to the website.
Yeah.
And Google it myself and see what shows up.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I saw that. Now, so in 2025, then you register your company, right?
Yeah.
What is the purpose of registering your company? Sole purpose of registering your company?
I'll be honest, it was a claim of independence, you know, as a man, you know, to say that, listen, I've learned how to swim, I should start my own swimming company. You know, I've learned how to walk, I should start my own walking company. Essentially, I just wanted to be independent now. I wanted to learn what it was like to walk on my own 2 feet. And I think it was something that I had to accept in myself. It's kind of like some leaders don't know they are leaders until they are, you know, put in a position to be a leader. You know, so in that moment, I kind of realized that I think I was meant to be a leader. So I should probably take the first step, which is starting my own thing and running it properly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you took the first step. You registered your own company. How was it to find a space? Just to find office space where you can say, this is my home. I can bring people. How was it? Just that process.
Yeah. So it was actually interesting. You know, I'm only 23 years old. I just turned 23. I'm a very digitally inclined person. So I didn't actually really look for like any office spaces or, you know, any general business expenses, if that makes sense, you know. I wanted to run my business online. I wanted it to be a digital real estate business, which I think is very, can I say, it's not common. I mean, the only digital real estate agency we have currently is EXP. They're not doing as great in the sense that, you know, they've got a metaverse that they're running. But yeah, I was hoping to kind of follow that because we're moving into a digital age. And that doesn't require an office space. In fact, if you want to rent one, you can. It's very easy to do that, you know. So I guess the only thing I'd worried about actually was figuring out how to do it because at my young age, it wasn't actually taught to me. I didn't know anything about the CIPC. until like March 2025, to be honest. I don't know that I needed a tax clearance certificate or I just learned what, the importance of, HR and why you need to have UIF and stuff. So these are things that I'm learning as I go, which it came to a shock to me because if I had learned this in grade 10, I would be flying by now. But essentially, I'm at a point where I'm focusing on a digital landscape that I'm trying to build, and it doesn't require any physical assets at this point. So it was very easy to navigate that.
But in SA, SA is a third world country. So there's still a bit of, I would say, people are still a bit hesitant towards things that they can't touch.
True.
They can't feel.
Yeah, it's not tangible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want to walk into a space and say, you stay here.
This
If I have a complaint, I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
You understand? It's not like in America, everything is flowing.
Yeah.
Canada, England.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why there are influencers that side. They get taxed by the government, and their government actually say, no, you don't need to register a company. You as an influencer, you can be registered as an influencer.
Yeah.
Then go straight into a dealership and get a car.
Exactly.
And get a house.
Yeah.
And they have all these nice benefits because these countries, they understand that economy.
Yeah.
They are able to function digitally. You don't need to register physical thing. Unlike a third world country. Go into any traditional bank and or look and say, I'm looking to buy a house. They will ask you, what are you doing for living? You say, I'm a content creator. What is that? And then even if in your payslip or in your bank statement there's proof of money, they will tell you.
Yeah.
We advise you, go and register a company.
Yeah.
Get that thing make it a company.
Yeah, something like
they want this
like a stable entity.
old way of doing things. Hence the question I asked you. So how are you finding it in terms of people trusting a digital product?
You've touched on a lot, actually, because that's actually one of the challenges that I've faced in my business is it's more than just actually trying to transform the real estate space, but also the pretense behind the digital space. Because I'd like to think of myself as a young leader, and I think of myself as that because I'm someone that by the time I turn like 30 or 40, the people that are also 30 and 40 be like, I'm fit. What do we do now? You know what I'm saying? And I have the knowledge in some way, shape, or form. So I say, okay, we might as well do this, and that, right? We as a country need to take steps to move into a digital space. And it's difficult because I'm just one guy. I can't just go to, Capitec or go to Home Affairs. Say, guys, please update the software here and let's finish it. You know what I'm saying? I need to be able to create something that will then, I think, inspire them to say, hey, listen, you know what? I know we're a third world country, but guys, we have WhatsApp, we have Twitter, we have Facebook. I mean, we're on a podcast right now. People are watching it on YouTube, We might as well do our digital banking, our digital stuff. We might as well add that as digital and I want to be a pioneer of digital or digitizing the real estate space. And the challenge comes with making that a norm. So what I'm doing and how I'm trying to navigate that right now is with the estate agencies that are literally registered under my license right now, we are creating an application. And we're using them as test subjects because obviously we want to understand, okay, if let's say you're a real estate agency, okay, and you want to sell a house in Midrand. The house it's 5 million rand, let's say. It's a nice house in the state. Could you digitize that process? Because the normal process is you would have had to source that contact number. And then you would have to call that contact number. Then you'd have to book an appointment with that contact number. And then you'd have to go to that appointment, the physical house. You do an evaluation on the house. And then you would present the valuation to the seller. Say, hey, I think your house is worth 5 million. And then you have to prove why it's worth 5 million. Okay, based on numbers, CMA, market feel, market trend, so on and so forth. Then you would put the house on the market, and then you try and get a buyer. Then the buyer would say, hey, I like that house. Then you book with the buyer. Hey, let's go see that house together. The buyer then says, okay, I like the house. Let's sign a paper that says I can buy the house. Okay, and then he buys the house. And then he says, okay, since you signed that paper, the attorneys are now changing your name from, or the house name from that family to your family. So I'm saying I want to be a pioneer in the sense that that entire process I explained to you can be digitized. Pick up your phone. Oh, it's a house. Okay, I want to view it. You view it right now. Oh, I'm viewing it right now. This is a virtual viewing. Okay. I want to buy this house. Okay, let me sign an OTP right now digitally. Send it. Oh, they accepted my offer. Done. Just press here, click here, click. You know what I'm saying? And we get to a point where our economy can start flowing. Because I get it. We are a third world country. We're not America. We're not Dubai. But I'm saying we are the future leaders. And I think as the future leaders, if we take steps now, we can become the next America. We can become the next Dubai. We just need to start thinking about these bigger things now. Because who's going to think about them if not us? It's going to be 2060, and now America's got flying cars. We're still worrying about, the clutch for the Toyota Taz. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's essentially the challenges we're actually worrying about how to actually bring it into the space more so than actually building the space, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get the vision. It's so funny in this country. There are things that are supposed to be digital. And they're not.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. The only time where even the South African Police Service decided to create an app, it was because of Uber. When Uber invaded the market, just through an app.
Yeah.
Everybody decided, it's doable. So let's do it.
Yeah.
So all of them now decided to create the necessary apps and websites. Some of them, their website did not speak to the problems on the floor. They then decided to update the website, wherein now the website speaks to the problem. For instance, you can get it to a specific website.
Okay.
When you're looking for a specific solution,
you
get help there and there. But it was updated because of the advent of Uber app, and it did a lot of damage in terms of the old people. Seriously, they were forced to change how they view this thing. Right. So I get it. They will always be the first person to move people from a point where they consider it comfortable and this is the right thing to do things, to a point where they will be like, it makes sense why we must be here.
Yeah.
But it takes time. It takes a sort of time. Now let's go to this part. So how did you get people now to sign into the product?
Yeah.
What was that process?
So that process was pretty easy, I'll be honest. I'm not even, because I didn't study marketing. I didn't go to university at all. After matric, I just started with, this journey. Marketing is very easy. It's a game where attention is the currency. So I just spread the word. I spread the word, and the more people I had told, the more people would have found out. So the first customer I got, I was just relaxing, and I got a phone call. Said, hey, my friend told me that you're doing this thing, and I really want to do it with you. How much do I owe you? And that was it, So the marketing part is always very easy. I think with any product, it's very easy to get the word out there, especially if you know how to encapsulate it, because you don't want to be too complex with your product or services. You want to just make sure it's nice and simple so that when you preach it to the world, they're like, yes, that's what I need. So for me, I just created a few designs on Canva, shared them with friends shared it with friends. I sent them to some group chats with other agents in there. And one day, someone was like, yeah, I heard through a friend of a friend of a friend that you're doing this. How do we get started? And that was it. And that's how it's been. I think all my business has been through referrals, actually. The second one, same, and the third one, same. So yeah, it's genuinely just getting your name out there. Have some fancy pictures, nice graphic design, post on your status. I think what also helped me was during my 3 years of building, I'd made a lot of friends in the space. I'd made a lot of friends, a lot of real estate professionals, developers, lawyers. So all of them were like, oh, so now you're doing this. I know, we'll let them know, and yeah, they just came forward. So,
okay, now let's describe this to a person now who's not privileged enough to be in your circle or know someone who is in your inner circle.
Yeah.
Let's describe this thing, how it looks like, how they can join if they want to.
Okay.
So what would be their first step? What do they need to do? And then what will you do once they've done their part?
Yeah. So, okay, this is obviously in relation to my business now, right?
Yes.
Perfect. I love that. So, my ideal customer, I think every business has to have, they call it the ideal avatar, a customer that you have in your head as a business, that this is the ideal customer, So my ideal customer is someone in the real estate space that loved what they do. Like, they love selling houses, they love doing listings, they love doing viewings, they sell. They work hard on the field. They just don't have time to study the NK4, to study the NK5, to write the exams. They just want to make money, because these are people that are taking care of families, building empires. These are people that are in a rush, And there's there's about 50,000 practitioners, some not even registered, All of these people are pretty much the same in that they just want to stay afloat, So that person would then come to me and say, listen, Sia, I hear you've got a principal license. I want to start my own company. Okay, that's great. So let's say his name is Bongani, right? Okay, Bongani comes over. I say, Bongani, so what do you want to call this company? I want to call it Masugu Realty. I'm like, that's brilliant. Okay. So we sit together and we draft everything out. So we'll sign an agreement where it says, okay, so Masugu Realty is owned by Bongani Masugu, but the principal property practitioner is Siyabonga Romeo Dube. Okay. Siyabonga Romeo Dube doesn't hold any liability on Masugu Realty. However, it will try its best, or he will try its best, to help grow this company in any capacity he can. Okay. And essentially what you do is you get your own team. If you want to get your own technological systems like your P24s, the virtual agents, Lightstones, you can't do that yourself. And I'll just be there as principal. And then the agreement would be, look, it's either we do you give me 10% of your gross sales and rentals, or B, maybe you pay a monthly retainer for using my license, which is 5,000 Rand currently. Okay. So that's essentially what we're looking for, who we're looking for, and how the setup is. We'd meet up. I love coffee at Mike and Bean. I'm actually going to one after this. so yeah, it's always great to just unwind and to figure out what this person's dreams are, because there are a lot of people that are working for agencies that want that freedom, want that pressure to actually run their own show, as opposed to just building an already established brand, So that's the market gap that I'm attacking currently, and that's basically the setup of how it would work.
If I were to liken your product, I would say it's like few businesses. Your business is like Take A Lot. Take A Lot is a marketplace where you are allowed to come and register so you can sell your product through Take A Lot.
Yeah.
Facebook Market, they just created this thing.
Yeah.
You can come and sell. Then you will meet also a client.
Exactly.
Uber, they don't have a lot of things. They don't even own those cars. You just register your car, you provide your own driver, you do the work, they just get commission because they own the app. That's it. So your business, am I right? It looks similar to that.
It's leverage. That's the power of the word, and that's why the branding is the way it is and the colors are the way they are and the name is the way it is, because these brands and these systems are leveraged systems. These are things that you don't need to really do yourself, but it can still get done. Remax owns 0 homes, but they sell homes every day. Like you said, Uber owns 0 cars, but they transport people every day. It's leverage. It's using something that you don't have, but still
Airbnb doesn't own anything,
there's
but
so
they've
many
got properties all over the world.
Exactly. So I want to be the next leverage system. I want to be the face of the next leverage system. And I think the first step is building something that I'm working on today.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me something then. What was the funding process, if any, if there was any?
Yeah.
Did you get funding to start this whole thing set up? Because truth be told, every system requires a bit of financial injection.
Yeah.
And you can't run away from
Yeah,
that.
no, that's true. So look, I'm a very privileged and blessed young man. I have a lot of good people around me. I never really had to source for funding, but I did have a good group of people behind me that believed in the idea and were willing to put money forward for the idea. And look, the idea didn't even take that much money, because we're still in the development phase of everything. We're still ensuring that our developers have all the corners of compliance because when you're building an app like this, especially if you're building like, the Airbnb app, for example, like you need to really know how things are going to work, and that doesn't take 2 days, And sometimes as the process goes on, maybe they'll need more money or less money depending on, what these IT guys are doing. I don't know what they're doing back there, but I know what they're doing is miracles, and we'll just give them what they need. But in the first setting, when I first started the concept, because I needed to actually, my thing was I needed to actually prove the concept, because I had the concept in my head, I had it on paper, but I wanted to see if it was possible. So I registered my first company. You can look it up. It's called Red Heat Properties. My partner there is Joyce and Ntombi Koto. Okay, so we actually registered with the PPRA and we did it that exact same structure. She's the front face to run everything, but on paper, I'm the principal. So when I'd seen that, I thought, okay, no, it is possible. And how it then got from there was we used a lot of sweat equity. So sweat equity is a term that's used by Mark Cuban. I don't know if you're familiar with Mark Cuban.
Heard about him?
So essentially, it's a thing of you run your business in a way where, you just use what you have, really. And with what you have, you then build the system as you gain more, So I didn't really run to someone and say, hey, I need 100K to do this. No, it was a thing of, let me see if this is possible. Is it possible? Hey, Joyce, do you want to test it out? Tested it out, made some money from that. Let's take that money and let's multiply it. Oh, we made money from here. Let's take that and multiply it again. Let's take that. So it was something that the more the business grew, the more I grew the business, as opposed to injecting all the money into it and hoping that it would, blow up, because I wanted to get to a point where I was also confident in the idea. So, no, there wasn't actually any funding sourced. We are actually, funny enough, in a position where we are seeking funding to finalize the app. But sweat equity was what really built the foundation of this empire.
So how much estimated cost will it be for you to put everything together and say the app is up and running? Estimated cost.
Estimated.
And I want to say this, qualify my statement.
Yeah.
When we say estimated cost, we are not saying the actual cost, because you can estimate even a little bit higher.
Exactly.
Only to find that you actually needed to add a bit of 30% on top of your maximum estimate. Yes. So estimated.
Look, so I've done some research. I'd say estimated about 300,000. And the reason I say that is because, so I'm someone that likes, again, digital products. I don't know if you know of an app called Fiverr. So Fiverr is a place that you can freelance, or you can actually leverage people's skills by freelancing them for a price. So there was a group of guys from India that I spoke to, and they'd be more than happy to do the entire project for 150,000. Okay. However, you need to understand that running a business, there's a lot of compliance angles to it. It's not just PPRA, by the way, as a real estate business. You also have to worry about CIPC. Apparently, there's beneficial ownership now, which I just learned. SARS, tax, very imperative. Tax clearance, tax pins, making sure your annual returns are done and your financials have been submitted. Trust accounts. As a real estate business, you have to have a trust account. If you are obviously taking in monies or trust monies, for deposits and stuff like that. FIC, Financial Intelligence Center. You need to make sure that you're reporting suspicious transactions, that you're tracking all the clients you take in. So there's all these regulatory bodies. So I then realized that there was someone we need to pay to help us figure out that, that map, because there was different angles to it. So that person would also need to be paid. And I think if you add the 150,000 from the developers, maybe another 50,000 for the person that pays, you have about 100,000 left. 100,000, maybe there's some tweaks or some bugs, or maybe they need more because they want to now add P24 private property to the app. That way people can post on there and list from the app, or maybe they want to buy emails or domains from the app, they can. Maybe they want to post social media stuff through the app, like you can post once on the app and then it'll distribute to all platforms. So all those API integrations would probably also come at an extra cost. And then, if there's some money left, we can market the product. But I'm hoping to market the product after, the test subjects have proven that, no, this thing is working. It's helped my business. It's helped his business. It's helped that business. we can spread it out. But yeah, we're looking at about 3,000 rand initially.
300K.
300K.
Okay. It's always difficult in SA to get funding. I don't know why.
Really?
In China, they say they register every 15 minutes. There's a new concept that has been registered. And also they have a way of funding their things because Chinese, the level of creativity is on another level.
True.
Number one. Number two, the level of production is on another level in China.
True.
We're not saying everybody's satisfied that side. We're just saying generally.
Yeah.
First world countries tends to do well in terms of funding ideas.
Yeah.
But a third country tends to do well to find a product that's already running.
Okay.
That's what I find it weird.
Okay, yeah.
You'll find them injecting money in a product that now needs to upscale. But when it was just a concept, as beautiful as it may be,
yes,
you're like, but why not injecting money here?
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, there are a lot of guys that I know who have designed their own cars from scratch.
Okay, wow.
There's one that I know now in Zonkezi's.
Literally Zonkezi's.
Exactly.
That designing
guy,
cars. That's cool. Okay.
But I don't know why it's always a problem. The funding phase, it's always a problem. People in this country are so skeptical to fund ideas. Not that there are no places, even institutions that are created to fund ideas.
Yeah.
They are there. Came across one now. It's called the name starts with S though. It's not CETA though. But I think it's a combination of CETA and one.
Okay.
It's a government institution.
Yeah.
So I want to get your experience in terms of government institutions. Have you knocked into their doors?
I actually have, yeah.
So what is your experience?
Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny because this is such a coincidence, by the way. So there's this association that I'm a part of. It's an association I got introduced to in, I think, May this year. It's called SAIPA, South African Youth in Property Association. Okay. So when I heard that, I was like, hey, I'm a youth. Hey, I'm in property. Hey, I want to be a part of an association, So I then learned that, so this association is powered by the government. Okay. So how do they do that? So I went to an event. It was the SAIPA Gala Dinner. Okay. There was big people there. It was the UKZN institution, so the University of KwaZulu-Natal was helping there, which I believe is a government school. There was the eThekwini municipality. They were also helping with that. There was a councillor. I don't know from which municipality, but a councillor was there as well. So this is an association that's heavily backed by the government. And I was actually introduced to the association by the chairman. His name is also Siyabonga, funny enough. Siyabonga Mshibe. And look, he has a lot of government friends. So we spent time. I love Mike and Bean. I said, hey, Sia, let's meet at Mike and Bean. Let's talk about this. And no, he had shared some stories with me in regards to the fact that a lot of what he does is funded by the government. So that did beg the question. So why is it that the government or governmental institutions are so easy to say, you want to host an event at the Durban ICC? How much do you need? We'll do it, And I'm saying, okay, well, that's, maybe SAIPA has been, and it actually has been there for a while. Again, I think that's why they funded it. But let's say SAIPA was fresh out of the box. It's a question that you just brought up, like, would they get the funding? Would they not get the funding? I don't know. But when it comes to that, I think most governmental funding institutions or just anything government, I think anything government just has a criteria. And it begs the question that who controls said criteria? Is it the government themselves? Is it maybe the UN? Is it maybe the people? Is it the systems that the government had built? Look, I also got into tendering recently. I haven't done a tender. I'm yet to do one, But it's one thing that I also started doing a lot of research in, and I think everything government-wise always just comes back to criteria. Like, do you have this? Do you have that? Are you black? Are you young? Do you have triple BE? How long is it business? You know what I'm saying? So I think, we've yet to get to a point where maybe pre-seed funding is something they look after, because and it goes back to what you mentioned, because there are 4 different stages of funding. It's pre-seed funding, seed funding, Series A funding, and Series B funding. And yeah, you've hit the nail on the head. Most institutions, government or not, even private institutions, they like seed funding where, the idea has been established, they've made some funds, we just need to boost them, as opposed to pre-seed funding, which is funding just the idea, So, no, I thought it was interesting, but it's something that, look, I put myself in that space for that particular reason, because I wanted to figure out, how does it work here? What can I get from here, But so far I've learned that it's highly criteria-based. And look, I think another thing is the more business you do in government, the more your name is spread and the more easy it is to become. Because, look, if you do business with a Togini municipality, there's no way UKZN won't know you. If you do business with, Ekurhuleni, there's no way the mayor of Zonke Zizwe won't know you. Maybe you can then get funding for that car you're designing, But it's definitely one of those things where, it's more about who you know as opposed to what you know. But government funding or just government in general, it's, I'm getting close, getting very close.
Said something very interesting.
Yeah.
But I won't take you on that. It's more about who you know.
Yeah.
I'm saying this to say, having been, look, I've listened to a lot of people. There's a guy who's currently doing Uber.
Okay.
That guy, when he showed you his business concept, he had a good business in Free State. Everything was like, even when you see the concept, everything was beautiful and it was first of its kind. They went into a government institution for funding.
Okay.
Presented the idea. Not only did it meet the criteria, but it surpassed the criteria.
Wow, okay.
Also, it was a new idea that fits into an existing criteria, but with a different twist.
Okay.
You understand? So, they submit every document. Once everything was submitted, like, people says, no, we'll come back to you. Don't worry. Get back to you. This idea must be funded. Everything is fine here. And they've got the paperwork. They've worked with a lot of petrol stations. They are renting trucks. And in partnership with the petrol station, their trucks are working very well there. They just, there's this paperwork. Everything is fine.
Yeah. You can dish out.
You know what government did? Government officials took the concept, they made a decision. They fund the concept, but not to them. So, a year or 2 years later, they realized, no man, our ideas was approved, but not in our name anymore. Monies were released, but not in our name anymore. So everything went well.
Yeah.
But we are not the recipients and the beneficiaries of the money that was received. That's why I'm asking you, see, when it comes to government funding, it's a tricky space. It's not supposed to be tricky.
Yeah.
But it's tricky because of two reasons. Number one, it's a space that is highly contested by politicians. Politicians whose first priority is, I need to eat as much as possible until I'm out.
Yeah.
At whose expense, it doesn't matter. Two, when you go to these institutions, you will be talking to people who in their entire life have never run even a single business, but they are presiding over an institution that is supposed to speak to people who are business-minded. So no matter which idea you present to these clueless individuals, they just don't care. So there are mistakes that you will notice if you've been into business. When a person is pitching an idea, you'll notice that here there's a mistake, here there's a mistake, here there's a mistake. You will be able to distinguish that, okay, this one knows what they are talking about. This one, no, this one's they're still figuring out. There's a potential or there's no potential. Then you'll be able to say, listen, you have a potential, but I think you need to first go to this room, polish your idea here. They will help you. Once you're done, then you'll come back here and we'll fund you. But because you are talking to people who doesn't even know what business looks like, they will turn a guy with a good business idea
Yeah.
because I mean, I don't want to talk about people
Yeah,
who have been into this institution.
It sounds painful.
It's very painful, man, because there are many things that could have been
True.
done in this country.
so
I'll give it
true.
an example. So when I look at that car, it's gonna be a supercar. It will compete
okay.
with the likes of Lamborghini. Obviously, they are
Really?
well established.
Okay. Yeah.
It will compete with the likes of Ferrari. Obviously, they are well established.
Yes.
But what if we have an institution that speaks to that and say, okay, even if the idea is not polished yet,
Yeah.
but then let's find people who can polish the idea.
Exactly, yeah.
Once the idea is well polished, then we'll bring it back to us and then we can fund the idea that is well polished. Because obviously the person, when they're coming up as a black person, you don't have the privilege wherein you can access everything so much so that you can polish your idea.
Exactly.
So it can look beautiful to everybody. You understand? So that's why I'm asking that question because of that, to say, Ish, we seem to lack that vision where people can see that. Like when I look at that car, the drawings are there. When you're looking at the finished product,
Yeah.
you're like, well, because that guy's got beautiful drawings there.
Hey, you like that car?
No, it's not. The car is a representation of many businesses.
Yeah, true,
You understand?
true.
I'm just
Yeah.
using this car
Yeah.
as a representation for more and many businesses
Yeah,
that
definitely.
if they were to be funded, you will have your first what from this country.
Exactly.
First what from this country.
Exactly.
First what from this country. So I'm just probably venting out.
Yeah, no,
In a
yeah.
way.
Probably, yeah, who knows?
Yeah, but when you're looking at the drawings of the
Yeah.
vehicle, everything is perfect. But the process to manufacture that vehicle, you realize that this guy has a problem of funds. He's doing whatever it takes, but he's not going anywhere. That car, I've known that car for probably 6 years now, if not 7 years. It's not going anywhere. So there's that problem where you hire people who in themselves have never started even a spaza shop to begin with. So to understand what it means to run a business.
Yeah.
But they are administering to people who are business minded.
Yeah.
You understand? How are you going to be able to distinguish? Because there are people who are taking chances, using business as a platform to take those chances. How are you going to be able to distinguish that?
Yeah.
You're just going to give them money and then you say, but
Literally.
You understand? So yeah, how much money have you ever made in your business if
I don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
Look, 2026, I'm aiming for 6 figures because I've only actually touched 5. I've touched 5 figures. Obviously, look, it's my first time having to disclose funds online.
Okay.
But look, I haven't really made as much as the most I made in a day was about 36,000 rand, like in one day. You know, that's obviously from one customer, from one sale, one real estate sale. But I'm yet to reach markets where one sale would get me 6 figures. Okay, so I'm hoping to get to a point where I'm touching 6 figures naturally. And obviously, like all businessmen, we're hoping to get to a point where it's not really about the number, it's more about what the number can do for you once you've achieved it, you know. So I'm hoping to get to a point where I've got numbers that could allow me to get to a point where I don't even need to look at the numbers, you know. But yeah, the most I made in a day at my age of 23 is 36,000 rand. Touch wood. That's all I made. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So then, how do people contact you now? Say, let's start. Maybe I should start here.
Yeah.
If a person is working somewhere, top 4 banks, they look at themselves and they're like, okay, on weekends I have time. I would have loved to get into this space. Maybe somewhere in Sandton offices,
Anyway,
Cape Town
yeah.
offices. Someone is saying, no man, I normally start at 9, probably I'm done at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I want to use that spare time to do something. Will you accommodate such people?
That's a good question. I guess it depends, you know. It depends on what that person is hoping to achieve. Because yes, you may have the time, but what you are hoping to achieve at that time is very imperative. You know, people want to make money. They just don't know why they want to make money. I don't know if you've heard that saying, like, yo, I'm going to be rich one day. I just don't know how and I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you need to know why you want to be rich. You need to know how you're going to get rich, okay? And so that person, if they have that spare time, they can say, I mean, hey, look, I have a son. He goes to Curo. You know, the school fees are like, I don't know, 12, 30, or let me assume 20K a month, Curo, you know. I need like, right now I'm paying 20K, but when after that 20K, there's no more, pop in the pantry. So maybe if I can find another source where I can get that 20K, then at least I'm good. I can pay for the Curo school fees. So that's an angle, and it's an angle that's important because now you know why you're going to now give that X amount of time to build that money. You have a why, so it's called having a why. People just want to do things without having a why, So now okay, I just need 20,000 every month. Once that's done, if I'm making more, it's holiday time. You know what I'm saying? So that person, I give them time. Definitely. It just depends now. Do you know why you want to spend another 4 hours at the end of the week to do this? Do you know where it's going to go? Do you know why it's going to go to where it's going to go? Do you know why it's important to you as to why it's going to go, where it's going to go, Once all those questions are answered, I think we're in business, Until then, nothing really is going to happen besides you having that dream and hoping you can achieve it,
Can I ask this question? Do I understand you I'll tell you how I understand you maybe.
Yeah.
My understanding is that you are saying, I don't want us to waste time. I want a person who has something that drives them. Because if there's a driving force, then you wouldn't just start something today, tomorrow you drop me.
Exactly.
Because there's something that drives you, you will do it, whether there's motivation or there's no motivation, whether you feel like or you don't feel like, because the curious school fees they don't need motivation. Month end you need to pay. You will do it because Curo is waiting for bank notification. Otherwise, your son will be out of school.
Yeah, otherwise you'll have a deadbeat son who's smoking things you haven't even seen before and he's just chilling at the house, Same with rent, same with building a family, same with trying to survive in general, So yes, I am someone that you need to have that driving force. I think it's imperative for any individual, even if you're not trying to make money. I think it's imperative just to be alive. Why are you living? I'm living because maybe one day I'll get married, have kids, start a family, build a mansion on a mountain and, look at the water, And that's what's keeping you alive. Otherwise, it'd be easy. You could just give up now and, go on the street, be homeless, do drugs, go in jail, So every person, regardless of the intensity of said motivation, needs to at least have one, because everyone has a dream, I'd like to think. And if you're willing to get that dream, then, definitely take the steps to that, even if, you look stupid doing it.
Okay. If a person wants to contact you, because sometimes you can send emails, sometimes it takes longer. And sometimes it's not necessarily that the emails takes longer.
Yeah.
But you just need to express yourself a little bit differently. English can be a bit limiting.
Yeah.
And this sending of emails, I'll tell you the truth. Sometimes I'm like, you know what?
You're
I can
not
send
the
you
one,
the idea. But if we want to talk, hey man, give me a call.
Give me a call.
Let's talk over the call.
Yeah.
Because she's typing.
You're not on that, yeah.
So if you meet such a person, is it possible to have a conversation with you about everything?
Definitely. So look, I'm very young. Again, I'd like to highlight that. I think, us young people, the youth, we love our phones. I love my phone. I'm on my phone every day. And whether it's an email, a phone call, a WhatsApp, a DM, whatever it is, I will look at it and I'll respond to it because I don't know, I've just never really been someone that's thought of it as a bad thing to do. We live in a world where people don't really pay much mind to it. And, like you said, hey, I don't like typing. Fair enough. I live in a world where if someone wants my attention, I'm going to provide it because I know that at the end of the day, they want it for a good reason. Maybe they have a good motive. If they don't, then I'll make sure to cancel it out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm easily reachable. So I'm someone who's actually not active on social media. I haven't been active on social media since 2021. It's an active decision I made because I worked with a lot of, the markets I was chasing, I'm selling houses to 50, 60, 70-year-old people. These guys are not on Instagram or on TikTok or like looking through Twitter. They're on, the most they're on is Facebook, but otherwise they prefer a direct call or an email. So that's what I am so proficient and good at. Like I will call you, I will email you, I'll WhatsApp you. And if you're diligent enough to respond, then you'll do that. If not, you're probably not someone I should be dealing with, So I'm someone who, I have a website. So if you go on www.levro.co.za, you're able to find my number on the contact page. There's even a WhatsApp button. So if you press the WhatsApp button, you'll be instantly directed to, my WhatsApp chat. And again, I'm not someone who's a prude. If you want to text me, go ahead. If you want to call me, go ahead. I'm someone who, again, I'd love to engage with you and I'd love to expand on whatever ideas you have to share.
I know I saw when I was checking the website.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah.
Did you press the WhatsApp button?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
What? Okay, I'll tell you why I didn't press the WhatsApp button. In our space.
Yeah.
The reason, I'll tell you this.
Okay.
The reason I didn't click the link is because in our space, you must run away from links because links can take you somewhere else. The next thing, you are hacked. I can look. We probably wonder sometimes I'll take time to respond on emails.
Yeah.
Let me give an idea.
Sure.
In a day, I receive probably 2 spams.
Okay.
2, and to even call it that way, maybe I need a direct name. I will receive 2 emails per day, if not 3 per day. It's either somebody's trying to hack me by pretending to sell me a product, then send me a link, and then say, click the link and get this product. Or they have a new technique these days. They will say, I saw your video, you use my music. So before I can deal with you legally, I want us to resolve this before it gets there. So click this link. We know how it works.
Okay.
So we don't click links.
Yeah.
I don't click links even on WhatsApp. I don't click links.
Okay.
With any of my social media.
Yeah.
I mean on my phones. We don't click links. Cause I've 2020, early 2025, if not late 2024, I've survived. I was this close to get hacked. Actually, they have completed the step around 95% of this things was completed. It was just 5% before I lose everything. Then I woke up, man. I was like, nah, man. There's something that doesn't add up here. So I've got a YouTube manager. She lives in the UK.
Okay, lovely.
So they will tell you, we're not going to click links. We're not going to do links. So when you send me your email with the website.
Yeah.
So then I looked at the website. Then I physically have to type the website
it out to kind of find
and
it.
then get a send.
Okay.
Use a different phone again.
Yeah.
From the phone you send me the link.
Wow.
Then verify that, and then I looked at the numbers. I'm like, okay,
it's the
it
same.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
You get that that 2-step verification or in your own way. Yeah.
Exactly. So in a way, we are forced to live in an old school.
Yeah.
Because the more you want to keep up with the new way of doing things, wherein you just send me something, click the link, and then fill in the forms, and I send things. That's how they want to hack me.
Yeah.
And I will receive 3, if not 2, per day of such emails. Sure. They come in different shape or form.
Yeah.
We've seen this in your video. Or I don't know. I've been receiving one from Rod.
Like the the mic company, yeah.
Yeah. We want to partner with you, and then we are Rod. And then you look at the website. No?
Yeah.
Now we're like, okay, they'll give you the link.
Yeah.
Or their email address will say what Rod.
info@rod.com or something.
And then you go to Rod's website, and then you're like, this one is fake.
Yeah.
I've received look, every week probably I'll receive one of those every week. They are very consistent, those ones.
Yeah.
And then there's a new one that has just entered the space. They will send me so it's a bit tricky.
Yeah, sounds like you got a big cybersecurity challenge there. Yeah.
Nah, the thing is that on our space, the YouTube space, they wanna hack your channel and repurpose it. It's always the case.
Yeah.
So you'll find that they are playing adult stuff there or cryptocurrency there. So once they hack you, it's almost like that.
It messes up the whole structure.
Yeah. And it may also mess up your algorithm.
Yeah.
Someone who got hacked, when she got her channel back, money-wise, she suffered. She had to abandon that channel and start a new channel.
A new one separately, eh?
Because financially, it wasn't making sense.
Working.
But I'm just saying this as a word of caution in terms of others listening to this.
No, definitely. It's imperative. You know, it's quite common in real estate as well. There's a funny one that people use in real estate. Someone will pretend to be a buyer just to view the property and then do like a heist at the property. So my mentor, his name is John DeMello. Okay. He's done a show house. Okay. And at the show house, he had the thieves there. You know, they pretended to be buyers. They walked in. They were like, it's a nice house. Yeah. And then laptops are being taken. People are being told, sit down. Guns are being pulled out of pockets. There's a van outside. Collections are being done. So I think in every angle, because I think even with me, obviously now I've distributed the fact that, hey guys, you can reach out to me on my website, call me, whatever. Someone will try their luck. I think I do have that discernment to say, hey, I don't think this is a link to click, or I don't think this is a call to answer, I think that's also a skill that I think it's imperative for anyone in the business world, period, because you will get to a point where someone is trying to jeopardize you in a very funny way, But it's common throughout all realms. But I'm grateful that you shared some with me in, the podcast realm. Yeah, that's interesting.
We are biggest target. I don't know why, but currently, I think we are number one target in terms of cybercrime.
Really?
Sure. They really want the space. Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
We are number one in terms of their target. Recently, Google revealed that they got hacked. 181 million passwords were exposed.
Sure. 181
million.
I hope mine was 182 and they just missed it.
I was like, I'm hoping since Google will have more than 1 billion websites. I'm like, at least it's millions. Close to 200 million.
Yeah.
It was something that happened last week.
Last week? Literally?
Something that happened last week.
That's shocking, eh?
Hey, Foot, this thing is very, very scary because a month ago or beginning of October,
right,
I almost lost SA Infotainment Podcast.
Really?
Just when they were about to successfully change everything, then I got a message and it beeped and it tells you that there's a sense of you need to do it now. They are at an advanced stage now. Your password, they've gotten hold of your passwords already. It was before Google released this thing. Yeah. So they had gotten hold of my passwords and everything. They were about to complete that. And that's the second hacking, by the way, not the one that I just told you about.
Yes, I mean, like you said, advanced stage.
Yeah. This one was at an advanced stage.
Sure.
So I had to change everything. Yeah. And then, but I'm saying the digital space, it also
comes with challenges.
Yes. Yeah. So you are in that space. Yeah. I'm just saying, hey. Yeah, I wish you all the best in that space.
Look out.
It's a very tricky space.
Yeah.
It's a very tricky space. And I don't know why. We should just be normal human beings. But I don't know. Probably there's a question that I didn't ask you. At this moment, you have your camera. You can say anything. These are your last words. You can say anything. It doesn't have to be 2 minutes. It can be as long as you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can do a whole 10-minute YouTube video here.
It's fine. It's yours. You can say anything in your chest.
In my chest, Look, I'm actually grateful for everything that's, happened in my life so far. And, the trajectory that my career is taking. I'm hoping to, again, revolutionize the space digitally. Obviously, taking those steps right now. One thing I will say, though, is, it's my first time here. I did say that the most I made was 36,000. Next time I'm back, it'll be 1 million. And then the next time it'll be 10. And the next time it'll be 100, But, yeah, we're climbing. I think everyone should just be grateful for the fact that, look, you've got to start somewhere. And use my story as inspiration. I started with nothing at 19. I'm 23 now. I've got my own business. And I'm doing the most I can. So thank you so much to the podcast team. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day.
It's always a pleasure. It's always interesting to meet young people. Yeah, well, I'm older than him, so it's a fact.
Yeah.
So, but you kind of feel a bit of jealousy because at that age, if you've figured out your purpose, it's one of the most important things to figure out your purpose at that age. So I can only wish you nothing but the best to say.
Thank you.
May you succeed in your purpose. In life, I've said, had I figured out my purpose at an early age, I guarantee you I would have been multi-millionaire, if not close to a billionaire by now.
You'll be flying.
Yeah, because, one of my biggest weakness, I don't know, I think too much. It takes me less than a day to come up with something, a brilliant idea.
Okay.
So I spent a good chunk of my life jumping from one thing to another.
Interesting.
It's only later where I figured out that, okay, no. I'm never going to succeed in this life if I keep jumping from one exciting thing to another.
Yeah.
So it speaks to the issue of purpose.
Yeah.
You having figured out your purpose at an early age, it's a blessing I wish I had when I was at your age.
Thank you.
So you can only grow from here.
Yeah.
The journey is very challenging. I don't want to lie to you. It's very challenging.
I've seen some flames, it's been a hot one. It's been a very hot one.
But at the end of it all, it's worth it.
No, definitely.
Especially if it's your purpose. There are things that will come simply because that thing is your purpose. You also grow spiritually, psychologically, emotionally, because you are attached to your purpose.
Yeah.
There's nothing that is as satisfying as doing something that is your purpose, the reason why you are on planet Earth. So you said something, the fact that you don't want to work with a person who doesn't have a why. It's something very interesting to hear, because a lot of people, they live life without purpose.
It's quite a lot of them, man. Yeah.
You meet a person who's drunk on a Monday.
Yeah.
And you meet them on Thursday, they're still drunk. And on weekend, they're excited that the weekend is here. But you look at their lives, you're like, my man, the world is already harsh on you. You can't be this to yourself.
Yeah.
Please pick up yourself. But unfortunately, if that thing is not in you, there's nothing we can do. We can only wish. We can only dream. But if you don't make that decision, there's literally zero that we can do about it.
True.